excessive jumper, and he starts to mouth and chew on things, including people's clothes, and it escalates and escalates.
He has been out on trial 3 times, each time being brought back, the quickest one being an hour after he'd been taken to somebody's home.
Quite intense dog, a sweet dog, but an intense high energy one. Absolutely is capable and deserving of a forever home. This is Bruno, Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And the first thing I noticed about him was his soft eyes, which I know is a bit of a weird thing to say about dogs, but I do think you can tell a lot about a dog by their eyes. And he always had kind of kind eyes to me, even though he was hyper aroused in the kennel when we first saw him, barking, spinning, jumping up. He just had soft eyes. That always draws me to a dog.
The first time I met Bruno, he'd come in as a surrender, and it was a family that got autistic children, and Bruno was too much for them. Seeing him in his kennel, I could understand why. A very, very excited dog, very overstimulated very easily, going in, interacting him even through the bars of his kennel, very mouthy, very tactile, wanting to grab and bite, and kind of no limitation.
When I first met Bruno, he was incredibly excitable. He was hyper aroused. We learned through the training process that is who he is. He is a very excitable, high energy dog breed, but he was clearly really stressed by the kennel environment, and it was clearly making a lot of things worse. And like I say, I saw in his eyes that he's a soft, gentle dog that was struggling in the kennel environment. So I was really excited to see what his personality would have been like outside of the kennel environment.
With Bruno, there's been quite a few behavioural challenges, particularly to do with rehomes. He has been out on trial 3 times, each time being brought back, the quickest one being an hour after he'd been taken to somebody's home. And the typical thing is mouthing. And really the people that were looking to adopt having no idea what to do to address it.
And it escalates and escalates, and as your energy, if you don't know how to manage that, it just gets out of control. And then he's been sent back to the rescue every time because of those behaviours. So he absolutely is capable and deserving of a forever home. And for the right person, he'll make a really, really wonderful dog. But we needed to make sure we gave him the ability to lower that arousal and help communicate to him when he can let that out and when it's not appropriate. And just to get him to be a calm, well-mannered dog in the home. And I knew if we could achieve that, I'd then be able to help transition him into a new home, give the owners the skills that they need, and he'll be an amazing dog for somebody, because he really is he's a lovely, sweet dog. I'm very fond of you, mate.
My first reaction with him was just trying to be calm around him, and it quickly tried to be calm. It made it very evident that he'd not been given any boundaries. The dog was just, like the Energizer Bunny. He got no direction on a lead. Just getting the lead on him in the kennel was a bit of a task. He'd be biting at the lead and excited, trying to race through the door the second it opened. So there was very few boundaries and limitations for him, which were obviously making his behaviour much, much worse, because he didn't know what he should be doing.
I don't think there was any huge challenges when it came to his training. There was nothing that was out of the realm of possibility. He's super trainable. He really enjoys a lot of the obedience stuff, so his obedience could go to really, really high standards. The challenges that people would have with him would be just around his arousal stuff. So again, just being able to manage his arousal is the challenge for Bruno. And again, when you know what you're doing, that's not too complicated. And when you have the tools and management strategies to be able to do it, good boy, it isn't undoable. And as you've just seen there, he can learn to settle down. And that's exactly kind of one of the management strategies, is things like place training like this, where we can teach him, yes, this is what we need when we're inside. Lower those arousal levels, because inside is for calm, is for being a relaxed canine companion, but then understanding that he does have an energy requirement, so then putting that at the right time and at the right place. That's been the challenge with him. In terms of his actual training, no, good boy. In terms of his actual training, it's actually been really fun. He's been a pleasure to train. The big breakthrough moment for him was his place training. Now, it's not the most dramatic of breakthroughs for a lot of people. You would probably have argued that it was a bigger breakthrough for him when we fixed his pulling, or when we were able to start doing introductions to people when he wasn't jumping up them all the time. They were more obvious breakthroughs. For me, his big breakthrough, and we kind of just saw it there actually, was those moments where his brain just goes, okay, I'm going to relax. This is the time to calm down. They're the big breakthroughs for me, because again, the teaching him to walk nicely is quite easy because he's a trainable dog. The pulling, the jumping, all of those things are quite easy. And they weren't really the reasons why he was getting sent back out of a rescue centre. That not being able to be calm in the home and manage his arousal, they're the reasons he was getting sent back to the rescue centre time and time again. So having the ability to help him understand those moments where he just relaxes and settles down, those for me are the real breakthrough moments. And if his new owner can keep working on those things, again, they're going to have one of the most sweet, loyal, beautiful examples of a staffy that anybody could hope for.
Since Bruno's been on the training with Will and his team, his impulse control has improved significantly. He's not jumping up at people the moment they go in the kennel anymore, although he still does get excited. He's going out for his walk. He's been in the kennel for several hours. He very quickly calms down and drops into a nice walk. So Bruno walking, dropping in for a nice relaxed walk with somebody is fantastic to see.
So I don't think his personality has changed much in the month of training, but what the training has done has allowed him to display the good side of his personality more, if that makes sense. The bad side of his personality is that overexcitement, over arousal stuff, which again, put in the right place can be really, really useful for the right people. But that wasn't allowing people to meet this version of him that I've been able to get to know, which is this really kind, sweet, loving dog, which is very typical of staffies, but a lot of people were never able to really meet this side of Bruno because all they see is the excitement and the silliness. But once we helped him understand that that's not appropriate here, it gives us this dog that's really engaged, that's desperate for a cuddle right now. He wants to be loved and he wants to love. That's his personality underneath all of that excitement. So again, when people can just help him understand just to be calm, when he calms down, that's what comes out of him. And for his new home, for the first couple of months, he's going to need to use lots of crate training, lots of place training, because if you give him too much freedom, he'll get too excited and then the arousal stuff will happen again. But over time, this can transition really easily onto a sofa, no problem. Not on day one, but on month 2 or month 3, absolutely. And what you'll have is that staffy that when you get home from work will come out for a 2-hour hike if you want to go on a 2-hour hike. Also, if you want to curl up under a blanket and watch TV, he'd be more than happy to do that with you as well. I think he would thrive in an active home. I think he would be good with children, but older children. The most important thing for him is that he needs confident leadership in his life. And there's not a bad bone in his body, but when that arousal starts to creep up, all he needs is somebody just to be able to come in and just say, hey, no, and someone that can calmly and confidently, from a place of loving leadership, be able to do that with him. And I can teach them how to do that. The how to do it isn't difficult. It's really easy. And we've laid all them foundations with him anyway. But it just needs somebody that's confident and willing to do that. And to do that because we love him. And that's that leadership is love that I'm always talking about. If we give him leadership and have the ability just to say, hey, Bruno, no, we don't do that here. What we do is this: settle down, calm down. There's going to be periods where you're going to find that a little bit difficult as you learn. But once you've learned that, you're going to have an amazing life. That person is going to have the most loyal, loving dog they could ever imagine.
I've definitely got an attachment to Bruno. Again, with him being one of the more difficult dogs, he was regularly on my walk list from coming here as a volunteer or from him coming in while I was volunteering. And just getting to spend time with him, and like a lot of the dogs, get to see their character and to see how they've got their little quirks and their little things, but also see the good in them. And he deserves a good chance. Having the opportunity to go to the right person in the right home, he will flourish and he will make that person eternally happy. You know, they wouldn't regret a day of taking that dog.
I think Bruno's beautiful quality is this. It's how desperate he is to love somebody and how desperate he is to be loved. Again, it's such a shame that through, and it's no fault of his own. I don't like to badmouth his initial owners because they knew no better, but they clearly established habits in him of overexcitement, and they never taught him from a young age how to be calm in the right moments. And then being in and out of different rescue centres, he's never had a consistent loving leader in his life. And I'd probably argue that for the last month he spent with me, I'm probably the first person in his life that have given him consistent loving leadership. And what he gives me in return is, I'll do anything. You name it, I'll do it. Let's go. Well, I'm really looking forward to meeting his future owner. I really want to be a part of that transition process. I'll help manage the training and help manage that transition. But if there was one thing I could kind of say to them now, is just somebody that's willing to lead him. It's so easy through wanting to love him or wanting to feel sorry for him to think that what he needs or deserves is showering with praise and affection and freedom and nice things, but that's doing him a disservice. What he needs, again, is somebody that from a place of love can step up and put rules and boundaries and expectations in place. And although it might mean I want to have a cuddle on the sofa with you, but for now you're going to be on a place bed next to the sofa on a lead, so that if you make bad decisions, I can challenge those bad decisions. That's what he needs. And I would love nothing more than for somebody out there that is that, to go, you know what, I'm going to give Bruno that forever home. I'm going to give him that opportunity, and I'm going to lead him the way that he deserves to be led. And again, I can promise that person that what you'll get back out of that will be the most loyal, loving dog you could ever hope for. Now remember guys, if you're interested in learning more about rehoming Bruno, there will be a link in the description box below. But I just want to thank all of you. The reason that I can run my K&I sanctuary, work with all these dogs completely free of charge, help their new forever homes with training completely free of charge, is because of my online academy and our courses. If you're thinking about getting a puppy, our Perfect Puppy course will make sure that you get it right first time round. If you've got a dog at home that you're struggling with any behaviours with, my Perfect K&I Companion course, I guarantee, is exactly what you need to help turn that around. And what's beautiful is, not only will it help you guys, but it supports me and our sanctuary dogs. It lets us work with more dogs that have been stuck in rescues for years to help them find their forever home, and bring all of that content to you so that you can follow along with the journey. So again, thank you so much. All of the information to all of those things will be down in the description box below, and we'll see you on the next video.